just before this documentary came out, how did you feel about the case coming out? And did you break up with her, or did it just naturally sort of fade out?
It just naturally like faded out. We stopped answering each other. She stopped answering when I started asking her more deeply about the case when I got out. And then she would text back, like, are you done asking about it? And I just like stopped answering after that.
Right. And how do you feel about the case now and learning the facts that she had her foot on the accelerator, she never pumped the brakes? You know, there was a lot of evidence of her threatening to take his life previously.
Yeah. I think she definitely did it on purpose. It's hard to tell. It's hard to get into someone's head like that. I think she did it on purpose, but I don't know if she thought like they weren't gonna die and that it was just gonna be like, oh, I scared him, or she just really wanted all of them to die that night. And I feel like it was God keeping her alive and making her live it out, because that choice was just evil and sick, and now she has to serve her time for that.
But do you feel, in terms of how she is living in there, you know, that she's bubbly and still has a good life? Obviously, she doesn't have freedom. Do you feel it's fair that she's, you know, still happy in there and getting to live a life when they've both died?
I don't know. That's kind of like that's like asking like you think she should have got the death penalty over life in prison.
Well, not just that, but whether she should have been in, you know, like you say, a privileged cottage, one with flat screen TVs, things like that.
I think Mackenzie shouldn't be in only a minimum security prison, especially for her crimes. She should have to serve it out in like a maximum security where you're in your cell 24/1. But like I said, the justice system isn't perfect, guys.
What did you think of the documentary then, when she now sits down and breaks her silence for the first time? Were you shocked to see her like that? And did she seem different to you in those clips?
It seems like she just got on camera and told what her lawyer wanted her to say. There was no real Mackenzie behind that interview. That is
In
not
what way?
Mackenzie. That wasn't even her voice. Like she like the way she was talking, she changed it. Like that even it's crazy. That was not Mackenzie. When I saw her on there, I had to call my friend and we both were like, who was that?
Wow. And you saw in there as well, I think you probably saw the part where she looked like she was crying, but there weren't any tears falling. And then she turned to someone and sort of talked about, how did I come across? You know, did you see that part, and what did you think of that?
Yeah, I seen it. And I'm not surprised. That's how Mackenzie is. One thing about Mackenzie, her what how do they say?
Demeanor?
Not demeanor, her well, her image
Yeah.
to Mackenzie and Mackenzie's image to her is everything. So when I saw that, I think Netflix did that on purpose just to show like this girl is not genuine in this interview.
You feel she's maybe just self-obsessed and enjoys the
Yes,
fame.
she wants to be famous, no matter if it comes negatively or positively. Like I said, she was walking around asking people, "Do you want my autograph?"
And what kind of things was she signing? Just pieces of paper? Was she signing
Nobody
clothing?
really wanted her autograph. She was just being funny to everybody, trying to be funny, like, "Oh, I'm famous for the crash."
And was she able to like listen to music in there? Was she able to
Yeah,
read?
everybody gets a tablet. Everybody gets a tablet in there. You can read any book you want. Go to the library.
Do you know of any specific music she was listening to or books she was reading?
Yeah, she likes Kid Cudi, Playboy Cardi, stuff like that. That's like her favorite genre. And the books, I have no idea. Oh, she didn't really read books. She did art. She would do art a lot. She would paint cups for people, paint people's shoes, draw, stuff like
And
that.
did she ever talk about getting out? Obviously, she'd said to you that she worried she may never get out. Was there anything she feared
No,
about
she
not being able to live a normal life?
no, Mackenzie full-heartedly believed she was getting out. She probably still to this day believes that.
And is that quite shocking to you?
Yes, I told her that too. She's like, so you really never think I think it's shocking that she's going to get out when she's not remorseful. She's going with this POTS theory when everybody knows it's not true. And And then she's going to say, go after appeal, appeal after appeal. Going with that theory. It's not going to work. You have to show remorse. You at least got to tell the families what happened.
Absolutely. And on that topic as well, she'd said she had POTS and has seizures. Did you ever see her have a seizure?
No.
Did you ever see her have any symptoms of POTS or
No.
talk about it?
No.
She'd never mentioned it to you?
She mentioned she had POTS when I asked her about the crash. Other than that, never again.
Wow. And obviously that must be coming out now. You might think that that was a lie?
Yes. I 100% think that was a lie.
It's just crazy. And obviously since coming out, you've heard that she's been involved in threesomes, that she's had other girlfriends. Who have you heard that from? And have you spoken
Just
to her
other
about
inmates
this?
the other inmates that are in there with Mackenzie told me that.
Just describe to us what they actually said.
They said she got caught in the shower with 2 other girls, that she's always running around out of place, that she's always, and if it's one of her girlfriends getting sent away or getting home, she moves on to the next one.
All right. And does that shock you, considering she was more well-behaved when you were in there?
Yeah, it does shock me because she was not like that. So she's probably just breaking her roots in there and just going crazy.
Yeah, I don't know whether you feel there might be an element that she's been in there a while now and is starting to realize that she may not get out, and
That's
the
what
mask
I
is
was
sort
thinking.
of falling. Did she ever talk about her sexuality at all? Did she ever say how she described herself? Or
So she told me before prison she had never had experiences with a girl, and she never thought about it until she came to prison.
And obviously, since the documentary came out, we've also heard that she may have had sugar daddies that she'd met on a sugar daddy prison website. Have you ever heard of such a website? And did you ever ask her about these things?
I've heard about girls doing sugar daddies on the website, but I never heard about Mackenzie doing it.
Right. Have you heard that since, and is that something that you feel may be true? We've seen in text messages that she did admit to having a sugar daddy or doing something in terms of a foot fetish on a break from her boyfriend, and in text messages she'd admitted that. Had you ever heard of anything like that?
I didn't. I never heard of nothing like that. But I wouldn't be surprised if she has them now, because every girl in prison does that. That's just a way to get extra money.
Yeah, because obviously you mentioned it's obviously a lot of money that is being spent in there as well.
Yeah.
Did you say as well, what time does she get up in the morning? And just if you could describe to us sort of her regular day. I heard she gets up very early to maybe do her makeup.
Yeah, she would get up around like 6 in the morning, shower, do her makeup, do her hair, probably start off with some art, she would say, drawing, painting some shoes or something. Maybe even wash their clothes, because in Wheeler, they wash theirs super early. So maybe even wash her clothes. And they get to wash their own clothes. We don't get to do that in other cottages. So wash her clothes. She said she would do that, listen to music, wait for first yard to open, go around the yard, depending on the day it is, if there's anything open for second yard, like set line dancing, like I said, anything like that, she'd go to that. She just stays real busy all day. And then so obviously when I started coming around, she'd still wake up at that time, but then she would meet me like every yard.
And how long was yard, and how long were you able to kiss? Are you allowed to kiss each other publicly,
you're not allowed
or are
to
you going to
kiss
be
each
told off
other.
for that? Yeah.
Yeah, you're not allowed to kiss each other publicly, so we'd have to like sneak and do it on the yard. And yard, it really changed like almost every day, depending, because say there was a medical emergency, they'll shut yard down 2 minutes of opening it. But generally, it'd be about an hour and a half, if we're lucky.
And just talk to us, describe what the yard is like and where you would be able to hide to sort of make out with other women.
Okay, so the yard is like a big track, and it's so the White House is at the front of the prison, then the yard is, it's just huge. It's a big circle track. I think it's about a mile long track. It has a little softball field in the middle, and then CFS is right behind that. It's just a big yard of open field. You really can hide because there's so many. They let all the cottages out at once, so it's every inmate that wants to come outside on the yard at one time. So there's only like maybe 3 or 4 guards on the yard, So you just sneak, look around, make someone else look, no guards looking, kiss.
Right. And did you ever get pulled up for kissing her or being intimate with her?
Yeah,
Just
I
describe to
did.
us any time that happened and what sort of reaction did she have?
So no guards seen us. The White House, the control house seen us, and they yelled it over the big speaker. So obviously they walkie-talkied another guard. They pulled up and they're like, "Hey, what are y'all doing?" Like they said, they seen you guys touching from the White House. But I mean, I think they seen us like really close, but they didn't see what we were doing because they didn't take us to the hole. But she kind of like was freaking out because she didn't want to go to the hole. She said she had her appeal coming up, but they just walked us both back. The CO kind of gave me a little stuff because they knew who I was, but she was in Wheeler, so obviously, they just walked her back and let her go.
Wow. And not to get too graphic, but obviously you can't sort of strip off. So I imagine it was just hands everywhere is how it would go down over there.
Yeah.
In terms of when she was talking about her future and wanting to get out, is there any plans that she said she had? We'd heard recently that she'd maybe talked to her mom about worrying that she was never going to have children. Is there anything that she really wanted to do when she came out? And did she say how she was going to live her life?
She said she was just going to live it. Like, she's going to go back to concerts. She's going to travel. She's going to be an influencer and write a book when she gets out about everything that happened. She said she's just
Wow.
going to live it. She said it might take some time, but she's going to get out and live it again.
So you feel that maybe when she came out, she was going to embrace her fame, being in famous?
Oh, yeah. She said she was 100% going to write a book and be an influencer.
Wow. And what did you think about that then, and what do you think about that now?
Well, then I thought, okay, if this girl really is innocent, it would be an amazing story to get out, write a book, and blow up off of that, and even honor your boyfriend and his friend. Because then, if she did blow up, okay, she could set the families off with her, publishing money. But now I'm thinking like, okay, she was just trying to grab a piece of fame. I don't think she would do any of that for the families if she got out. I think she would throw up a big middle finger to them like, oh, I got away with it.
Absolutely. So you feel if she won on appeal, she would just try and be famous and use that?
Yes.
Okay. And what of your friends, did you tell many people when you came out that you dated her, and what was the reaction?
I told my cousins and stuff I was talking to her while I was still in there, and they're like, "That's crazy, bro. That's crazy." And they were like, "I don't think you should talk to her because we think she did it on purpose." And I'm like, "I don't know. Like, I don't know. I want to get her side and see what she says because it was like a game of telephone in there because I don't have it in front of me. She's telling me one thing, they're telling me the other thing. So I'm like, okay, I just want to figure out and see it." And I really didn't tell anyone else until I got on TikTok and I was talking about it like a year before the documentary dropped.
And did you get much attention why did you first post those TikToks? Because obviously that was a year ago now.
I saw somebody else post about it and I was like commented like, "Oh my God, I talked to her in there." And she's like, "Let's do an interview." So I did an interview and then people started commenting like, "Hey, tell her to do the story time." I started it. And then Mackenzie had people start texting me. They text me my address. They text me my mom's name and stuff. So I just kind of stopped for a little bit because I just didn't want to chance it with my family like that. And then the documentary dropped, and then all of a sudden my phone like started going crazy. And I looked at it, and people were commenting on my videos from like a year ago, like, please finish it, please finish it. And I'm like, all right, everything's calmed down. Why not?
And you've not heard from her or anyone to do with the prison since started posting again?
No.
Did she ever mention that she was shocked that she was the only survivor, or having any guilt about being the only survivor?
Mackenzie did not like talking about the crash at all. She wanted to focus on me and her, not about the crash, and just be in our little bubble that we were in right there at that time.
And how were you able to communicate? Was it just in person, I imagine? Obviously, you weren't able to text or message while you were in there.
Oh, yeah, you can't text other inmates.
Yeah. So it was just you, and you saw her and then arranged the next time that you would see her.
Yeah.
And how was she when you didn't turn up? Just to explain again, did she get really angry? Did she ever swear at you, or how
No,
bad
she
was
didn't
it?
swear, but she definitely like had an attitude the whole day.
And that must have been a bit draining at times.
Yeah, because she just like, so we'd be like, all right, so you still want to hang out? She'd be like, yeah. But she'd be like a Debbie Downer the whole time. So it's like, dude, we're already in prison. If you want to do this, I would just go back to the cottage.
And did you ever see her or hear her say anything shocking? Is there
Like,
anything that sticks in your mind?
no, other than that Shirilla the killer, that one really like blew me back.
And she seemed to be boasting about it, and now obviously seeing the full facts of the crime, to have been
Yeah.
saying that people have called her that.
Yeah, because I feel like anyone that was innocent and they said that would like break down in tears and be like, dude, stop portraying me as that.
Absolutely, but she seemed to be enjoying it.
Yeah.
Is there anything else you'd like to say about the case or the victims or your time with her?
Well, honestly, I hope Mackenzie comes out and tells the victims what really happened. They deserve it. Their families deserve it. They're already laid to rest now. Just give the family some peace too.
Absolutely. And how are you now turning your life? Have you turned your life around since coming out? How are you doing?
Yeah, it's been really hard, I'm not gonna lie, because nobody wants to give felons a chance when you first get out. They want your felonies to be 5 years old. But thank God, just started a new job that's paying well. So right now it's going good.
Oh, fantastic. What are you doing?
I'm working manufacturing.
Oh, perfect. Well, this must be quite a shock for you to have been put into the spotlight like this.
Yeah.
Are you just what are you hoping to do to use this moment yourself?
Well, I just hopefully want to grow from it. Maybe some people will like look at it because after this Mackenzie bit is over, I do want to talk about my time in prison and how it all affected me. And hopefully, I know no one likes to listen, like, oh, been there, done that. No one wants to hear that. But hopefully, it does reach other people because those felonies are not worth it. Like, once you start growing up and you see you can't get a house, no one wants to hire you and you're struggling. You're 25 years old asking your mom for help. It's embarrassing. Don't do it. It's not worth it.
Absolutely. So you're hoping to help other young people who might end up in
Yeah.
jail for either smaller offences or offences that you'd committed and then also
Especially for like
mistakes that she
mine.
made.
Yeah, especially for cases like mine. Because I know a lot of youth just go hear rap music, see their environment if it's bad and just want to jump straight into it. It's not worth it, dude. I don't care how cool it looks. It's not.
So the last question I was going to ask you is, after this documentary came out, there's obviously been a lot of criticism about her parents. Did she talk much about them supporting her, and how do you feel, having watched the documentary, of how they do make excuses for her behavior and how they still support her?
They definitely do still support her, and she told me they were always supportive. And I don't know what they think happened, but they obviously know the evidence like everybody else, and they're just putting blinders onto it because it's their daughter. I don't think
Yeah.
what they're doing is right, even though it's their daughter. That doesn't justify what she did.
Do you feel that even her mum thinks that she is innocent? Obviously, we've also seen things that were left out of the Netflix documentary, including her talking in gibberish during a police interview to her mum, kind of saying, can we just tell them I had a seizure? Can they just take my driving license away? She was kind of, the police believe that she was talking in a sort of secret language to her mum to try and cover it up. So do you think her mum does believe she did it? But
Yes, I think her mom knows she did it. And yeah, they speak in Gypsy. She would tell me that all the time. She would speak it to me all the time.
and did you ask where that came from or why she spoke that with her parents?
She said she was just a carny.
And obviously, since then as well, the dad has been put on administrative leave from his job. Do you think that they have questions that need to be answered? Do you think they should have been punished in any way?
I don't think her parents should be punished because They honestly truly don't know what happened. But if they truly know in their heart that it did happen and she told them, yes, I think they should be punished. But if they didn't know, I could see why they're like loving their daughter. But she does need to be held accountable for it. You can still love her and hold her accountable.
Absolutely, because it seems even when she was at school and in trouble that if she said she didn't do anything, her parents seemed to be okay with that.
Oh, yeah, that's not okay. Just justifying everything your kid does just because they're your kid is not okay.
And are you surprised by all these years later of how popular this show has become? It's now #1 streaming on Netflix. You know, are you surprised that it's back in the spotlight?
Yeah, I actually am surprised that it popped back up from how long that it's been.
Well, this has put obviously both Mackenzie and you in the spotlight. So how are you dealing with that at the minute?
Right now it's crazy because everybody's like blowing my phone up and I'm at work and they're like, "Where you at? You should be here." And I'm like, "Oh my God, I'm still trying to live life, guys."
Well, thankfully you are out and you can now make a lot of change in your life, and you say you've been doing well so far. Thank you so much for joining us.
Yep, thank you for having me.
Thank you, we appreciate it. Thank you.